Welcome to M&A Unpacked, the weekly show where we bring on experts in MSP M&A, case studies from those who have gone through or going through the process, and top M&A and business minds to help you get deals done faster and maximize the value of your MSP, whether you're buying, selling, or just trying to improve your business. I'm thrilled to be joined today by Chris Vollmond-Carstens. Thank you for joining me. I'm thrilled to have you. You guys are Ntiva. You guys are a humongous company.
We're right about 450 currently, but we come from very humble beginnings about 20 years ago when Stephen Fradkin, our CEO, founded the business in late 2004. We've been fortunate enough to grow as we sought to serve the SMB and mid-market community, starting originally in the DC area. And we've always been focused on wanting to grow each other, whether that's our clients or our employees, and technology is the accelerator as we do so. So we started with our humble beginnings, as I said, in the DC area for the first 10 or 12 years, just in this market. And then, beginning in 2016, we brought in our first round of outside capital from a private equity sponsor, and that really allowed us to accelerate our growth. With our clients, with new logos, with our existing clients, and then also to embark on acquisitions. And we've been fortunate enough to have done now 14 acquisitions over the last 7 years. And have expanded our geographic presence from the DC area also into Chicago, New York, and Colorado. Although we do serve clients nationally, those 4 that I mentioned are kind of our geographic markets. But thrilled to be here and thrilled to continue to grow ourselves as we look to the future. I'm responsible for our M&A and integration activities as the Chief M&A Officer. I've now been with Ntiva for about 3.5 years now. And so we're in a great position. We feel very optimistic about 2024 and going forward, in spite of all the challenging or potentially challenging economic headwinds out there. MSP services is critical for our clients. And so we love this, to be able to sit in the nexus of all that need and desire, and hopefully serve good things to our clients.
So Chris, you, as you said, you're the Chief M&A Officer. This is the first time I've seen a title of Chief M&A Officer. That is pretty cool. So you guys are obviously doing this a lot, if that's a position.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. It's a critical area of growth for our business, and has been for the better part of 10 years since we brought on our first round of outside capital back in late 2016. And we have since transacted ourselves a little over 2 years ago in early 2022. We're now partnered with PSP Capital. And so inorganic growth through mergers and acquisitions, alongside more traditional avenues of organic growth with new logo sales and client retention and growth. This is one of the 3 primary vectors for our continued intentions for growth and expansion. So I think, given the importance of this as a piece of our business, I've been fortunate enough to be in this position with this title. But I think it just speaks to how important this is, and doing it in the right way for us, how important that is for us as we continue to move forward.
So what kind of MSPs are you looking for? Like, who does Ntiva want to buy?
Yeah, so first and foremost, it's about you wanting to find businesses and individuals that are similar to us. It's really about finding people first businesses that have a culture where they put their clients at the center of their universe, and where they want to build a business in the right way and leave a positive legacy in their communities. So that's kind of critical factor number 1 for us. Second is, we serve the SMB and mid-market communities. We would like to partner with businesses that serve that similar space. So SMB and mid-market is critical for us. And an area that is becoming increasingly important for us is areas of industry vertical expertise or specialization, or other attributes that are, quote, special sauce for an MSP. Those are things that are of increasing interest for us, as opposed to just being a generalist in the space. Although that is our upbringing and our beginnings, we do see a movement towards that higher degree of specialization as being important for our client base. And so if there are businesses out there that have that in legal or finance or whatever the sector might be, that is definitely of interest to us. The third area that's important for us is, as I mentioned earlier, we are currently located in 4 geographic markets. And so finding businesses that will allow us to continue to grow and scale and seek majority presence in those geographic markets. And just as a reminder, those are the DC metro market, the Chicago metro market, New York City metro market, as well as out in Colorado, specifically, Denver, Colorado Springs market. So looking to build presence and scale in those areas. And we're also looking to go further afield than just those areas. So into new regions where we can help businesses accelerate their scaling with operational excellence, sales growth, and M&A opportunities. So that's really the crux of what we're after. And I guess, at the end of the day, obviously the financial profile and picture of a business is important. We would love to partner with companies that are 60 to 70% plus recurring revenue in their mix. And ideally, we try to target businesses that are around $1 million in EBITDA or above. It's not a hard and fast rule for us, particularly within our existing regions. But one thing you'll find out as you do more and more M&A is that regardless of the size of the transaction, you're going to end up doing the same amount of work. And so if you can get more bang for your buck with a slightly larger acquisition, why not go for that?
And what are you guys doing these days to find sellers? In talking to a lot of buyers and sellers the past weeks, months, what I'm learning is that buyers have a unique challenge, sellers have a unique challenge, right? Buyers have the challenge of finding sellers, and sellers have the challenge of they may not want to be found yet. So always curious to understand from both sides how that relationship works. And of course, I should mention that you guys are a sponsor at Connect Global, which, as we're recording this, is coming up. So thank you for that. I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, we're thrilled to be a part of the event coming up in just a few short weeks. We know how impressive and sizable the Kaseya community is. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. I think to get to your question, there's really a multitude of ways that you try to go out and find prospective targets and businesses. For us, we really try to go at those simultaneously, whether it's fostering of longstanding relationships, amongst our executive team or others within Ntiva. Obviously, cultivating relationships, even on the odd cold call or outreach message, but also cultivating relationships with bankers and advisors and other market makers in the community is tremendously important for us. And then, frankly, another great way to meet prospective individuals is through events, not unlike Kaseya Global Connect and other market conferences. It really provides a focused opportunity to meet individuals in person, which, especially in this day and age where it can be so easy to hop onto a Zoom or to a Teams, being able to stand face to face to someone and sort of see, meet with them is really a great way to drive forward a possible relationship with a prospective company. And as I was speaking about earlier, from the criteria that we consider when looking at an acquisition, we really do feel it's about building the relationship and the rapport and, frankly, the trust between individuals. And this is not something that typically happens overnight. It does take time to cultivate that relationship. And so being able to continue to foster and build that focus is tremendously important for us, because even if you meet someone for the first time today, they may not be the right criteria for us based on what we're looking for. They may not be interested in selling at the right time or at this point in time. But if you can start the relationship now, maybe it's 6 months or 12 months or 24 months, 2 or 3 years down the road, when the stars really start to align, and you wouldn't have that opportunity to come together if you didn't have that first chance conversation now, even if the stars didn't quite align at this point in time.
So I was on LinkedIn. I saw a post by your CEO, Stephen Fradkin. Hopefully I pronounced his name right. Can you, I think you know what I'm talking about, kind of like a little bit about what it's like to win at Ntiva. I found that very interesting and I'd love for you to share that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to. This is something that's near and dear to his heart and to our heart about what it means to win at Ntiva, and it really chronicles by three key attributes for us. First is um, being a legacy defining brand. We want to establish a long-term legacy. We want to be known for our purpose of growing each other, our core values, which is care, ownership, responsiveness, and excellence, as well as having a positive community impact. So that's item number one. The second is about being the most attractive choice. It's about trying to set ourselves as the quote gold standard out there. We want to be able to put ourselves into position to attract the best talent, the best clients, the best vendors, the best investors, even competitors. We want to have interested M&A opportunities come our way because they want to be part of the story. And then the third piece for us is also about we want to be able to cultivate extraordinary financial results. Be that better than ordinary for everyone involved at Ntiva, all stakeholders, whether it's employees, clients, vendors, everyone who's part of the Ntiva community. That's a sort of an additional piece to how we define winning at Ntiva.
You guys have done a lot of transactions. You have been doing this for a long time and you've seen, like to explore with you the reasons why MSPs actually decide to sell. And
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question because it stems to kind of a core concern or a core question that many MSP owners face is it's around the challenges that they're continually dealing with, and can transitioning their business, selling it outright, for instance, can doing that help solve some of those challenges. So examples of that could be you're struggling with trying to scale and grow your business because you're going to have to invest meaningfully in sales and marketing or improving the operational execution of your business. Why not become part of an organization that has a very mature sales practice, marketing practice, and a high degree of operational maturity, kind of become part of that story going forward. Or you're looking to retire and generate material meaningful liquidity for yourselves, and provide also a great home for your employees and your clients. Becoming part of a larger organization could help solve that challenge as well. Or frankly, even something more tactical as every year you're dealing with higher and higher cybersecurity insurance premiums, and that's whittling away at your profitability. You can take that concern off your plate by becoming part of an organization. So there's one less thing for you to have to think about, and you can really seek to focus on what gives you that most passion, whether it's the next business opportunity or a specific role within an organization, and allows you to shed some of those less fun requirements of the job when you wore 15 or 16 different hats.
I'm going to
Okay.
ask you the same thing I've been asking everybody else. You've got a MSP out there who is thinking one day I want to sell this MSP. And they have no idea where to start. They have no idea if they can sell. They're not ready today. Maybe they're just thinking about starting to get ready and for 3 years, 4 years down the road. What's some of your best advice to give to those folks?
Sure. I think one of the first questions that you should be thinking about trying to answer is, what is it that you would like to do after the transition in your business? Is it going to be that you plan to sit on a boat and you've retired? Do you plan to have a short transition period for a year or 6 months? and ensure a great home for your employees and your clients? Or are you interested to double down on your responsibilities and focus in on something that is particularly a strong passion of yours and shed some of those other responsibilities? If you can start to get some clarity around that answer, that can help start to guide how you may want to build or evolve or improve your business so that you can set yourself up for success in that transition in whatever form it might be, in whatever time frame that might be. I think that's an important question to start with first, because it can also start to guide you towards who might be the right home for your business. And then again, you can kind of work backwards from there to sort of start laying the groundwork for some things now, so that when you reach that future point in time, you've set yourself up for that desired success.
So in talking to some sellers recently, I got a couple of them asked an interesting question that I wanted to share with you. You know, there when you're going out and you're trying to sell IT services or do something, you have a chance to do it and fail at it. You know, you're only going to sell your MSP once, unless you're going to go out and do another one and then sell it again. But you know, these for the most part, a lot of MSPs are just selling it once, and they're a little nervous about the process. I'm wondering if you could arm them with some tactical strategies that could help them ease their minds a little bit.
Yeah, I think there are a couple things that I can offer as hopefully worthwhile advice in this matter. I think it gets to something that I was mentioning, whereby it's important for you to be able to ask questions of the buyer to really understand what they're about. And frankly, it's also an understanding that even if you're being overwhelmed with inbound messages from advisors or bankers or brokers or folks just like me, you are ultimately the decider and arbiter of whether you're planning to sell your business, hold on to it, or decide whatever you want to do with it. And so you have that control in this situation. So I know it can feel overwhelming, given that the level of attention that you're seeking or the level of attention that you're receiving. But it's important to recognize that the ball is in your court in many ways. That as long as your business is performing and hopefully performing well, you don't have to sell. I think you want to sell to someone that will be the right buyer for you, so that you land a great home for your employees and your clients, and you get a great value for your business and all the blood, sweat, tears, time, and energy that you've put into it. But I think it's important to recognize that as you think about this dynamic, so that you don't get caught up with the pressure of the environment, or feel like you're going to be lost out on a great opportunity. I think if you're willing to put in the work to find the right buyer for your business, then ultimately you'll be successful. And frankly, I'll point to an example here. When Ntiva was first planning to partner with a private equity investor back in 2016, Stephen Fradkin, our CEO, went about interviewing upwards of 24 different private equity firms to figure out which one would hopefully be the best fit for Ntiva to grow and expand going forward. So being able to put in the time and the energy and the research on that buyer, gives you a much higher likelihood of success down the line. So don't be afraid of putting the work in, just like you've been putting in the work into your business for all these years.
Right. Yeah, you can't get it wrong because you can always say no. That's great
As much
advice.
as I don't want you to say no, as much as I want you to say yes to sell to me, you want to make sure it's the right fit.
Of course. All right. So as our last question here, as we wrap up, I'd like you, if you have some kind of like process, checklist, roadmap that you like to provide to your sellers, to your potential sellers, I'd love for you to share that.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to. It's something that we put together, maybe a year or so ago, but we found it to be tremendously valuable, even, day in and day out. It's really about a checklist that a prospective seller should be thinking about when they're contemplating a transaction, because you can get very caught up in the minutia, the very prescriptive elements of a deal process, but lose sight of some of the important things that are needed or worthwhile to have in your mind for a successful transaction. And it could be something as simple as thinking about a transaction and the negotiation of it as a marriage to come, not an argument till the end of time. So wanting to be constructive in your approach to engaging with your prospective buyer, just as they should be constructive in their approach with you. I think that's sort of the critical thing to think about kind of right out the gate. You're trying to go for that 1 + 1 = 3 type situation, not a 1 - 1 = 0 situation where one side wins and the other side loses. It's really about wanting to have both sides win. And for anyone who's interested to learn more about other elements that are on the list, be happy to share that with you. Feel free to reach out, have a conversation. We can chat about it, and more than happy to share knowledge from what I've learned as I've done M&A in the space. I think the education element is a critical piece of success, not just for ourselves, but anyone who's seeking to embark on M&A in the MSP space. And I think that it's what makes doing a transaction in our industry so unique, that there is such a collaborative approach to it. So more than happy to talk about this or any other questions that you might have.
Awesome. And if you could just let everybody know how they can get in touch with you, how they can work with you, how they can find you, anything you've got for them.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on LinkedIn, Christopher Vollmond-Carstens, or you can email me at christopher.vc@ntiva.com. That's NTIVA.com. Those are probably the easiest ways to reach out to me. You can also call me if you like, 703-738-2926.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being a guest, and for everyone watching, we thank you, and tune in every Monday on the Kaseya YouTube channel for another episode of M&A Unpacked. And if you are not yet a member, I say this to you every week, if you're not yet a member of the M&A Concierge platform for MSPs, make sure to apply today. It's an amazing platform and is 100% free for both buyers and sellers. See you next time, everyone.